If you follow my activities regularly and you're watching this video soon after I've uploaded it, you might be wondering why is it so late. I've killed the boss a while ago for the first time, very late. I've decided to upload this short boss guide video for level 65, even though in just maybe a couple of months it will be obsolete, but the tactics will be the same, I believe. The tactics are the same, from what I remember from level 60 days. And I'm very glad that my team actually came back and helped me kill that boss, because they've cleared it a week before I had a chance to. I was busy obviously that day. Now on to the guide. Once you start the boss, you have Coratanni and the bird. Coratanni doesn't move and the bird needs to be moved away from one of the two tanks in the team. We have a standard team of 2 tanks, 2 healers, 2 melee DPS and 2 range DPS. We're splitting up in 2 groups, 3 people, or the melee group, 2 melee DPS and 1 of the tanks on Coratanni. And the other 5 folks are spread around the bird. The bird does change target and move around from time to time, but the group does not. The 2 healers and the 3 range DPS stay over there all the time. We focus all of our DPS on Coratanni at first.
Yep.
I'm free.
The most important mechanic that's still relevant at level 65, and I presume it will be the same at level 70, is the ricochet shot. Every 20 or so seconds there will be a 2.5 second channel from the boss to a random member. That's why we're splitting the groups, in fact. The member who's targeted by Coratanni can be voiced and notified wide and loudly, because the channel is 2.5 seconds. Usually the tank tanking Coratanni can announce that. I do apologize about these hiccups, they do happen quite often lately and I'm not really sure why. Back to the mechanic of the ricochet shot. The person who gets it has 8 seconds to spread the ricochet shot debuff to 2 other people. That's why we have split the group. Let's say, for example, I get one. I have another melee DPS and one of the tanks next to me. In the first 4 seconds after I get the ricochet shot, I need to quickly move to one of the people next to me and wait there. On the 4th second after I get the ricochet debuff, I will place a dot or a debuff on that player. Immediately after that I need to move to the next person, stay next to them and give the second ricochet shot. You can read the mechanics description if you want when you start the fight yourself, but that's the most basic explanation I can give. The person who gets the ricochet shot has 4 + 4 seconds to spread it to 2 other people. You can never spread it to a person who already has that debuff. The ricochet shot happens every 20 seconds, and sometimes, depending on your luck, you might have a mix in the group. Say, a ricochet shot lands twice in the range team. All the other mechanics in the first phase are more or less obsolete because they've been nerfed to the ground and they don't threat or bother nor the tanks, nor the healers, nor the DPS or anybody in the team. You can just pretty much ignore the console. Once Coratanni goes inactive, the bird enrages and you have to finish off the bird. It does a lot of damage and constantly changes targets. We have a dedicated person, in our case it's one of our range DPS players, who constantly announces who the bird is on. The bird can push you, pin you and do a lot of DPS on you. It's a little bit of a healing intensive phase, but if you have properly geared up team with 2 decent healers, you shouldn't have too much of a trouble. As you've witnessed in the beginning, we used Gunslinger Shield, which helps immensely. After the transition, we are fighting Ruugar. The only important and troublesome mechanic are the mouse droids. You need defensive cooldowns for those things.
Take it.
Oh, sorry, I took it back.
Nice try.
Coming mouse droid. Droid, Josie. Trench. Very good.
The mouse droids spawn in pairs, if my memory serves me well, and they target random players. It can and it does happen often that the mouse droids are going immediately after the same person, and God forbid if that's a paper armor class, or in other words a sage for example. They really have limited resources or abilities to protect themselves. The yellow circles on the ground are bombs that if you can, you better avoid. You can say that our tank doesn't really bother that much avoiding. The DPS coming from the ground and the bombs is not significant. Again, we split the team, having 4 people actually around Ruugar. That's the 2 melee DPS and the 2 tanks. They're all standing around but not on top of each other because of the mouse droids. When the mouse droids reach you, they explode, dealing huge amount of damage to you and whoever is in close range to you. I believe the range was up to 5 meters. The best practice is to drag the droid away. We have 2 people in our team, usually 2 range DPS, because they can spot the droids from further away and from greater distance. They usually target the droids for a moment and announce who they're going for. The droids have small amount of HP, but still big enough to be killed before they reach their target most of the time. Or at least that's the case at level 65. With the change of DPS at level 70, things might be different. I do not recommend trying to kill the droids, it's a waste of DPS.
Take him.
Droid folk.
The other and very important mechanic is when Ruugar stuns someone. When Ruugar stuns someone, there's gonna be a huge red text appearing on the screen. You should not DPS in that window because you're actually reflecting damage onto the stunned person. And you would notice everybody backs away and stop DPSing. You don't obviously need to back away. It's just a precaution that I'm taking.
Stop DPS.
Why am I choosing for this fight specifically Watchman? Because it's a single target fight in more than 95% of the duration of the boss encounter. That's specific for my class. Obviously, I'm trying to make this video as universal as possible. I can't give very much detailed tank advices, but I will ask our tanks to share advices and answer potentially questions that would pop up in the comments down below, if you have them, of course.
I'll get him.
Swap.
The 2 mechanics with the mouse droids and the stunned person repeat until Ruugar drops to below 10%, which is the end of the fight. Once again, I would like to say a huge thanks to my team, because we persisted through many issues, and I can't say if we will be back for level 70 grinding, considering the fact that it's very likely the operations will be the same, no new mechanics will be added, and it's a huge possibility that they will be even easier than before. If you don't know, this fight was a lot tougher at level 60.
75%.
5% guys, just burn it. Adrenals or something. Or something.
Congratulations to VULKK and whoever else gets the achievement, hopefully watching this video and using it as a guide. Now, these short guides, I never claim or intend for them to be detailed or as detailed as a written guide would be, but they can give you a nice direction to start with. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. Obviously, if you have more questions or things that you're doing differently, share them down below in the comments, and I hope to see you soon in the next Star Wars The Old Republic video. Bye bye. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If so, click the like button and help me out. Also leave a comment and let me know what you think. Visit my website VULKK.com for daily videos and news, and stay in touch by following me on Facebook and Twitter. To help me improve and expand, consider becoming my patron with a small monthly pledge.